Yes, you're watching the South Australian Sports Show. Golf is on the agenda, Poppy.
It is.
3 big years, or 2 to remain, of course, with the Australian Women's Open. The CEO of golf, Luz-Raymond, joins us. Chris, thanks for dropping in.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Let's talk about the Australian Women's Open first, because it's such a massive event. 2015, the announcement's made that South Australia is going to host the Women's Open for the next 3 years. Your reaction on that announcement?
Fairly excited. We were very excited, in fact, to get it for 3 years.
Feather in the cap for SA Golf, obviously, but what are the must-fulfil requirements to be considered even?
First thing, good golf course, and we've got 3 internationally known golf courses. Second thing, capacity to hold the event, and hopefully third thing, a good crowd. So
when you talk about the capacity to hold the event, is that the capacity of the crowd, to be able to deal with the golfers, to deal with the media? Is it a wide range of capacities?
It's the infrastructure. There's a fair amount of infrastructure, a fair number of trucks come in with all the equipment for one of these events. So a golf course has to have that extra capacity to hold that. And then it comes with the media and everything else that goes with it.
Is there much competition behind the scenes about trying to be considered? One of the 3, I guess.
Fair amount of competition.
A
lot of competition. And if you miss out, then you're disappointed. But I think what you do is, if you go and see that infrastructure being trucked in, and the crowds moving around, then you realise that perhaps you can't host it, and then you understand why the clubs are chosen.
All right, so they don't operate like soccer where you get a good watch, because I'm looking to see what your watch was like to see if that influenced it.
No.
Don't have a watch. So, clearly, the first one, fantastic, 2016, of course, February, 30,000 spectators.
That was
over
great.
4 days. Did you expect those numbers?
Look, I think a lot of people didn't expect those numbers, but moving around the golf clubs and wider, we started to see that people were interested. And what really impressed us was the non-golfers that came along, not only for day one, but then they said, oh, we'll come back the next day and the next day. So we didn't quite expect that.
Are you in a position where you capture the sort of people that are coming through with the hope that in years 2 and 3, because that's the key now, isn't it? I think there's a big tick. Absolute big tick behind year 1. Now there's a bit of a test for year 2 and 3.
Well, a lot of the people who came in year 1 have said we're coming back again.
Great, yeah, good.
So we're hopefully we're going to get that and better.
Yeah, good.
Chris, often when you bring in a world event, the athletes are elite, and some of them, they say, are difficult to deal with, some of them quite good. What was your feeling with the elite golfers?
The women's golfers are great to deal with. They live down at Glenelg. And all of a sudden they found that there was a beach there, the weather was nice, it was only 15 minutes to the golf course, and there was stuff going on in Adelaide. There was a fringe festival and there were wineries, so they're coming back and they're bringing their mates.
Yeah, that's it. So there's not the John Daly type personalities, Tiger Woods controversy. If you look at this golf course, though, why wouldn't you attract the very best golfers from all around the world, the female best golf? Because this course was in pristine condition, just looking at these shots.
These golf courses, the 3 that I've selected, I reckon the golf courses actually know when a big event's on, and they rise to the top. The golf course itself knows that something special's on, but there's no reason why you wouldn't play in these golf courses. And again, the players looked at them and said, this is a test and challenge of golf. They were happy.
The players knowing the course for next year, because that was already decided, do they get out, when they're finished, do they go, I've got a bit of spare time, I'll whip around and see what next year's course is like? Are they really good at their homework? Are they diligent that way?
They are. A lot of them are. A lot of them took the opportunity to go and have a look at Royal Adelaide and Kooyonga, and they get they get an opportunity to play there. If you miss the cut, of course, you've got a couple of days up your sleeve, so you go and play. But they do their homework. They absolutely know the golf course, and that practice round that they play immediately before the event is their homework being done.
All right, next year, February 16th to the 19th?
16 to 19, yep.
When does the work start to prepare? Is that already...
Started the day after last one?
Oh, the day after last one. Look,
there's a bit where it starts to flow, and then there's now things really need to happen. Are we at the things need to start happening now?
You'd have to ask Golf Australia because they're the organisers, but they were here last week already, and it's a continual process. But the event is good enough, and Golf Australia staff are good enough to be able to pick it up and run it almost anywhere with little or no notice. So it's about 3.5, 4 months before they...
So they've got a template in place.
And you need it too, because, I envisage that December, January, that holiday period, the golf course is getting a lot of use as well that you need to work around. So yeah, I'd be interested in how they put an organisation lays that out for an international audience. So I think that's exciting. I mean, as much as we all want to play, I think being associated with rolling out an event like that is exciting as well.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to if it's a successful event, it's fun.
All right, 3 years. What do we need to do to continue to have it for 3 after?
Look, good crowds.
Yep.
And we need to convince the government that it's a good investment. And I think we're well and truly on the way to that.
It sounds like the players are on side. What you said, it's the perfect, and we see that when they talk about the Tour Down Under, the cyclists love coming here. I mean, once the athletes love to come here, it makes it so much easier then to sell it, but then of course you need the infrastructure to be able to do that. Last question on the Open, because there's a few other questions we need to ask you. 30,000 is a big number to repeat, and you've said, some people have already said they're coming back. How much promotion goes into trying to generate the crowd to come over those 4 days?
Within the Golf Association, we started the day afterwards.
Yeah.
And so every event that we run, we keep saying, look, you have to come back to the Open, or if you've missed out, come back. So we've started within our own group of people, and then we're trying to spread wider. Every time we get an opportunity, we mention Women's Australian Open.
Yeah. You know what though, I'd be really, really disappointed if the government didn't support it, because the location, the timing of the event, given what's happening and what's about to happen in Adelaide, given the Tour Down Under's just finishing, the Fringe is just starting, Adelaide Cup and the like, this fits in perfectly. I think it's a perfect fit, and with a female skew, I really like it. So I'd be disappointed. In fact, we're going to run a rally, aren't we, Phil?
We're going to run a rally on the show. All right.
Yeah. It's not only the government. I mean, it would be good to find a couple of good sponsors too, local sponsors, and you can't put the onus on the government all the time.
I think the Adelaide Crows women's football team would love to be a sponsor.
Yeah, for supporting golf.
We'd love to have them to come out and play a social round.
Phil will organise that for you.
I'll make a note of that. Right, I'll get onto that straight away. Mate, the pennant season, how's that been?
Look, good. Pennant golf in Adelaide gets bigger and bigger, and it's now, it was once just Adelaide, metropolitan Adelaide. Now it's spreading to the regions. So we had 88 teams, men's, women's and juniors playing this season, and I've said 100 next year after. So
are you finding, like most sports, securing young talent, junior talent, pre-10 years old, say? Do you find that we're still getting the traction with that age group? It seems to me it's very competitive down there.
Significantly competitive.
Yeah.
Look, we've now got a major national junior program called My Golf.
Okay.
So as we roll that out, and that's been about 4 or 5 years. It's in its second version.
Yep.
As we roll that out, what we're trying to do with the youngsters is to give them a really good experience in golf, so that they'll go off and play football and cricket and netball and all the other sports, but they'll come back to golf, because golf is everybody's other game.
There's another program too for the women.
Swing Fit.
Yep.
That's modelled recently the same as My Golf. But this is
an older group, 18.
No, well, older female group,
Yeah.
but it involves a bit of exercise, a bit of stretching and bending and things like that, and a bit of golf. So again, it's an ideal entry point to people who've never ever played golf.
The Olympics, golf and the Olympics. I'm not a fan, so I have to ask from the golfer's standpoint: is it a plus to have golf in the Olympics, or?
Look, I think it's a promotion of golf, and golf worked very hard to get there. Having said that, it was probably disappointing not to have the best golfers there, the male golfers. Female golfers, I think participated.
Pretty good, yeah.
It will be interesting to see what the reaction is in Japan, because Japan is a golf nation.
Yeah, fanatics.
And I think you'll find all of them going there. If you could get the reaction that Britt had when he won his second gold medal, if you could get Murray's reaction to golf, I think then it's done well.
Have you been to Japan to play golf?
No, I haven't.
It's an interesting one, Pop. We went through Japan. They because of space is a huge problem, and they still have some.
They just play mini golf, or
no, they have
driving ranges.
20-story buildings. So each floor is hole in one, hole in two,
Yeah.
and then the clubhouse is on the 19th floor.
That's a great
And they've
idea.
got it set up where you play on the image of the course.
Yeah.
And just that's how fanatical they are about it. So
There we go,
I
that's
think
what we need.
I can't see that golf wouldn't be successful in Tokyo.
So, and
Yeah.
with Korea very close by, and China, of course, there should be
Yeah. Good one.
a good
Right.
take up.
Chris, appreciate your time coming
done.
in. The Australian Women's Open, of course, February 16, 19, 2017. You need to get along and support that. We need that to stay here in Adelaide. Stay with us. Still plenty to come.